Sarah was in a major life transition and a recent inheritor, because her last parent had passed and she had inherited a good-sized portfolio, which could change her professional and personal life. With everything going on in her life, she was not sure what to do. She knew she needed help, organizing her priorities, assessing the assets and liabilities and deciding how to move forward. One of her friends told her about us, and we met. On our first meeting, it was clear she was nervous, unsure and stressed. As the conversation started to unfold, she was pleasantly surprised that the questions were all about what she wanted. She started sharing some of the advice from well-meaning friends that were making many suggestions. They said she should play the stock market, invest in gold, sell off the whole portfolio and put it all in the bank. Others said buy a business, put it all in real estate, while others said, spend it on yourself, get a new car, buy a new house, travel all over the world, and enjoy it while you can. We both laughed at some of the thoughts and comments that were made. We then started talking about her financial monthly needs, and how much she could put back each month, what she wanted to do professionally, or did she want to stay where she was currently. If she did stay, would additional education help her advance, or find another job with higher pay? Did she want to start her own business? The discussion then turned to what were some of the things she would like to change, upgrade, purchase or keep the same in her life. What were some of her long-term goals and dreams? Would she like to live somewhere else, locally, different part of the state, country or somewhere else globally, buy another home, a second home, or travel more? Sarah also expressed some of the various charities that had made an impact on her life, and how she wanted to give back to them. We also discussed the legacy she would want to leave, for family and others. We were having such a great conversation, I noticed that Sarah had changed, from stress to calm, and I could see the expression on her face, the smile, she had a gleam in her eye. She was starting to feel comfortable and relaxed. Instead of everyone telling her what she should do, she was feeling empowered and safe that someone was listening to her, what she needed, what she wanted, along with her many dreams and concerns. As we ended our conversation, I said to Sarah, we will analyze the data you have provided, and asked her for some additional information we can use to maximize everything for you. We will take all of the information about your needs, wants and desires that we discussed, take you and your parents' portfolio, apply some strategies and suggestions we can discuss at our next meeting. Sarah was excited. She said she was going to call her friend that recommended us as soon as she left and tell them she could now understand why they said, you will find them to be someone that will listen to you as a partner and a trusted advisor. With all of the information, our team sprung into action, writing down and talking about all of the needs, wants and desires that Sarah expressed, and started putting together various suggestions for short, medium and long-term strategies that could guide her to accomplish her desires. I gave Sarah a call to set a time for us to meet. I could hardly get a word in edgeways, much less get her off the phone. She was telling all of her friends how we listened to her, and how she couldn't wait to see what we had to share. We set a time to meet. When we met at the meeting, she was eager to hear about all of the things we had put together for her to consider. We started the conversation, talking about some of the suggestions her friends had shared, that we discussed in our first meeting. We both chuckled a little bit at some of them. I said to Sarah, we have a saying about most of the comments that your friends have suggested, it's not the timing of the market, but time in the market. Most of the solutions your friends suggested were jump in and jump out, which would be trying to time the market and make a quick return. We look at a long-term strategy that will allow you to stay in the market for a long-term investment. Sarah saw a couple of examples of short periods and long periods of market trends, and said that most of the suggestions she had gotten would take all of her time trying to jump in and jump out at the right time to make a profit, and that was not what she wanted to spend her time on. Sarah, what makes us different is we focus on getting to know you and focus on your life, like life counseling. What do you need, want and desire, and with that understanding, applying it to growing your wealth. This is our ultimate goal. We see others wanting to give you investment and financial advice, which may or may not be in your best interest, but in the fees they receive for all transactions. We are fee-based, so we are measured on your success, not on transactions. We then discussed an integrated wealth approach. It is an effective and efficient use of all financial resources. This requires knowledge across many disciplines. This helps us create a strategy to maximize your total return using your economic balance sheet, income, and cash flow, working together in one cohesive plan. Here is how net worth is calculated. We take your assets and subtract
liabilities, which equal net worth. We also maximize long-term after-tax income by strategically utilizing asset classifications and asset location to minimize tax implications. When we analyzed your information, we put it into our wealth allocation framework, which is all around risk.
Sarah's eyes were starting to glaze over. So, I knew I was getting to deep in the details, telling her about all our approaches and strategies that were more than she wanted to know at this moment. So we talked for a couple of minutes at how excited I was about sharing what we had prepared for her. I asked if I could show her one more thing before we started. She said she wanted to know as much as possible, but she was feeling very comfortable that we have her best interest at heart. So, I showed her the analytical process we use as we prepared our strategies specifically for her. I briefly discussed the 3 areas: life stage orientation, financial risk assessment, and wealth management, and then briefly went over step 1 to 6. Sarah said she liked seeing the visuals, it helped her understand the analytical process we went through. As Sarah and I went over our wealth management process that was created just for her, we stressed how we utilized all economic resources and tax benefits that we delivered through our wealth management services, offering confidence and peace of mind that your financial future is being prudently managed and preserved. Sarah and I started going through the strategies that were specifically set up for her. We discussed the risk and potential reward on each of the strategies. I stressed the benefits of going through this financial planning and why it was important. It gives her more control over her financial destiny, it allows for better strategic choices, it creates a framework for feedback, evaluation, and control, and establishes measurable goals and expectations. After Sarah and I determined the best strategy for her, I shared the report she would be getting on a quarterly basis. We went over the market commentary for the last quarter, and then into her specific managed portfolio overview and summary. We discussed the one-pager overview of assets and liabilities styles, the stock sectors, world regions, and the top 10 holdings. The next few pages of the report showed taxable accounts, cash or equivalents, U.S. equity, non-U.S. equity, and the same for tax-deferred, and the report finishes with a statement of net worth. Sarah was relieved and pleased that she would get a report that she could read, understand and watch her wealth whenever she wants, and getting reports, advice, and someone watching out for her, so she can live her life, knowing we have her back. As with Sarah, everyone has a different need. We would welcome the opportunity to discuss your needs, wants, and desires, and how, like Sarah, we can help you. It all starts with a conversation. What are you waiting for? Call 972-490-4345.